Oh, and we are live. Right. Cool. So I know that some of you are asking, how do you attend live? You literally just watch me. You should be able to see me in the group right now. So, good evening, my lovely, brave and courageous ladies. My name is Rudnicka and I help women let go of their emotional breaks so they can take the necessary action to create the life and business that they truly crave to have, and that they know that it's time to finally have and make it happen, right? Let me just find myself in my group. There should be a video of me somewhere going. So I can then see your comments. Just 1 second. And hold on 1 second. We're still waiting for people to join live as it is. Whoever is joining right now, just say hello, okay? Introduce yourself and tell me what it is that you would like to get out of the video. Okay, I can see myself now. This is so weird when you can see yourself on like in two different places. Right. So, without further ado, as people are joining, obviously we give it normally a minute or two before we get started. It doesn't really heat up until we're like, 5 or 6 minutes in. So while I'm waiting for you to attend live, let me just kind of give you a very quick recap. First of all, huge thank you to all of you who showed up live yesterday and to all of you who courageously stated what is it that you're scared of, how much, what kind of price you've been paying for those fears. Who is it that you were afraid of becoming if you were to really claim your power? It takes so much courage to show up and talk about those things. And I just want to remind you that this is a safe group. This is why I'm doing those lives. I'm not doing those lives, on my personal page or on my business page. I'm doing them in a closed group. Hello, whoever you are who has just joined, just introduce yourself and hello. And as I said, I'm just saying that I'm doing the challenge in a closed group so you can feel really safe asking me questions and being coached by me live. And that means that no one else who is outside of this group, so your friends, your family, your spouse, your friends, your moms, no one can see your comments here. So it's not like if you were to be commenting on my profile page when I have over 2,000 people there, right? This is a really safe environment. It means that all of the other women here are struggling with similar things. Oh, hi, Ron. I'm so happy to see you live again. Well done for being so brave last night. You're going to love tonight. And so that means, hello, Sue, welcome. And that means that this is a safe environment. That's why we are doing it here. And so yesterday was really intense. I was really pulling you, contribute, tell me what it is that's happening. And so thank you so much. Today will be a little bit more teaching, so you can chill out just a tiny bit more than yesterday. But still, I want it to be very much interactive. The way I choose to show up for my people is that I really want you to benefit from it. I don't want you to just be entertained. I want you to learn and implement. And the best way to implement is while we're doing things live. So after we've asked all of those uncomfortable questions yesterday, today we will be learning how to transform them, right? Because here is the thing. If you are here, and so for example, here means that you are scared of doing the thing. Let's just say that the thing for you is being scared of being visible online. For me, it was fear of video. It was fear of everything that and possible that putting myself out there, right? Now, if you want to get here, which is I just do a live video, I just show up, I just post my blog post, I just do whatever I need to do to create, my business, and it just kind of happened. There isn't any drama about it. Hi, Suzanne Cardia, lovely to have you here. It doesn't, you don't jump from here to here just like that. It's not a straight line. And I think it's probably one of the biggest misconceptions. And this is something that I really, really was able to test out when I was working with hundreds of people who suffered from anxiety and depression, with ex-offenders, people who were really, after some severe stuff. And so here is how the change happens, and this is how we're going to be going today, with that process. You take a tiny step, then you take another tiny step, then another tiny step, another tiny step. And as you are taking those tiny steps, you don't necessarily feel any change. You don't necessarily feel that you're improving. And this is the biggest problem, because our judgment is kind of like, okay, well, I've been doing those things for 3 days now or 5 days and nothing's happening. Here is how it happens. You keep going, taking those tiny steps, and only after some time in the future, after something happened, you will catch yourself, suddenly you're just like, I just responded to it differently than I normally would. That means that, hello Caroline, lovely to have you here. That means that after the change has happened, only you are able to see back how much you have grown, right? And so if you know the process, if you know that this is how it's happening, then you can kind of just chill out and be like, you know what, if I can give myself permission to feel really silly while I'm changing, then it's kind of going to be okay, because you know that sooner or later you're going to get where it is that you want to be. And it's just exactly the same with confidence. So let's just crack on. What is it that we will be doing today? So step number 1 is to change. What is the thing that you want to become confident at? Whether that's visibility online, what is the one thing? Is it shooting videos? I know that there was a lady there who said that she's got clothing design and she would like to become confident enough to wear her own clothing. So what is that one thing for you? If you can let me know in the comments below, that will be brilliant. Choose one thing, okay? Not a whole kind of, you're not changing yourself entirely. Choose the one thing that you want to be working on today, and we will then talk you through that process, whether that's wearing your own clothing, whether that's becoming better at public speaking, whether that's becoming better at writing your blog post. What is that one thing? And then we're going to go and explore. Here is the thing. When we are really stuck in fear and fearful thoughts, as in like, what will they think of me? What if I make a mistake? What if someone judges me? What if they say I'm arrogant or greedy for wanting money, right? What is it that, X, Y, and Z, the kind of, all of those kind of fear. There you go, Suzanne. So for you, this is a fear-based thought, What is it, Suzanne, if you don't mind, what is it that you are scared of exactly in terms of wearing your own products? Is it of being judged? What is it for you? And here is the thing. When we are stuck in fear and having all of those thoughts, it is all coming from our ego, which means that we are focusing on ourselves. It's me being judged. They kind of thinking thoughts of me. Is all about me. And it's sometimes really difficult to catch yourself, because we are so wrapped up in our own heads that we forget to get out of our own heads. Yeah, exactly. So be in front of the audience. So can you see, Rona, how being stuck in your head, it's all about you? And, again, I'm not judging here at all. This is just a process. This is something that I'm going through as well. Every single time when we are stuck in fear and those thoughts are coming to us, it's because our focus, it's on us. It's on our own head. So in the email, you would have been emailed a worksheet for day number 3. I really want you to go and complete it after today's live training, because it will help you to complete that exercise. Here is how to do this. If you can switch your focus is what you give your attention to. Like, I'm not trying to patronize you or anything. I'm just explaining. Focus is what you give your attention to, which means that if you focus on your thoughts of, you're literally talking to yourself in your head, what will they say if they see me wearing my own products? What will they say if they see me on stage? What will they think when they see, when they hear me making a mistake while I'm on a live video, right? This is being stuck in your own head and listening to your own thoughts. This is from ego. I want you to switch it to outside of yourself. So I've got some examples here. So for example, you can start typing whatever the thoughts that are coming out for you. But for example, they will judge me. If you switch to courage, which is focusing on contributing and on other people outside of yourself, suddenly the thought isn't about you anymore. And so you can very gently guide yourself from they will judge me to my story will inspire others, and so it's important that I share it. Can you see how the focus is different? Now, it doesn't take away the fear, right? Because fear is just an emotion, but it changes your focus, and that means that your why, as in why is it important, will propel you to be able to take tiny, minuscule steps to do the thing that you're scared of doing. What about the different belief? What if I make a mistake? Your courage thought to this could be, no matter what happens, I will be just fine. If I make a mistake, I will correct myself. I will laugh myself. I will kind of use my sense of humor, right? Yes, of course, Susanna, your story will inspire others, right? So this is how we're moving from fear to courage. Next one. Can I really do this? Am I really cut out for this? Who am I to do this? People like me don't do that. People with my background don't go and start businesses. For me, it was, I am just a poor immigrant. When I came to the country, I was washing up glasses in bars, right? And I couldn't speak a word of English. I was treated like an idiot. Who would ever want to buy from me? And it was very deeply rooted, right? Whereas a courage thought could be, other people had it worse than I have, yet they persevered to go and achieve what it is that they wanted. Can you see again? I'm switching the focus here. I'm switching the attention from myself to other people and looking for outside inspiration that, I can really do that. What if I fail? Again, this is very common. Very, very, very common. See, I've got my notes. I always come prepared. What if I fail? This is only because you don't know what failure is, right? People who are scared of failing are people who never try. And that means that they don't understand the process, right? Because the people who are laughing at other people, they're very quick to judge. Now, if you hang out with entrepreneurs, they will never ever judge you for your failures because they understand how hard it can be, and they understand that to make mistakes, it means to learn. So again, fear-based thought, what if I fail? Courage, outside of yourself thought, and focus on others, or focus on progress and on improving yourself, would be, I understand that failure is feedback, right? And I need to learn from my mistakes. At the end of the day, what do you learn from things that you do well? Nothing. You just do them well. But you don't grow. You don't grow from those things. We can only grow through making mistakes, through finding out what's not working, so we can improve and find out what's working. Now, does that make sense to you? How are you feeling about the fear versus courage approach? Just let me know whether that's speaking to you. Does it make sense? Right, here is the next thing. Here is something that I really need you to know. And it's about the uncomfortable truth that no one really wants to accept, right? And the truth is that this kind of work, the work of improving, the work of working on yourself, it never really truly ends, right? We are not supposed to be satisfied as human beings, right? We are supposed to always have another desire, another hunger, another thing to learn. And so whatever it is that you're fearful about to do, the fear of public speaking, the fear of what your family will say, the fear of wearing your own products, this is your desire undercover saying, hello, this is your growth. How about we go and play a game together? Can you see how different mindset that is? And so the way that you go and you transform is that you pick that one thing and then you go and you do the very thing that you are scared of. And I know it sounds very blatant and you're just like, Alex, how can you do that, right? You just need to trust me that I've done it with hundreds of people. And here is how you do that. I just got notifications on my phone. Here is how you do that. You pick the thing that you want to do and then you do it, but you do it in a way that stretches you, but it doesn't kind of make you panic. Because if you're scared of public speaking and you're going to go and try to speak in front of 50 people, hi Veronica, you're going to panic, you're going to faint, you're going to throw up, and you essentially will put yourself off public speaking for the rest of your life, right? And so it's important that you kind of gauge it. So you're still a little bit like, it's okay to kind of have that sickling stomach feeling, but it's enough that maybe shooting a video would be a better idea, or going live would be a better idea, rather than going in front of 50 people. And then you make a commitment to yourself to do it over and over and over again until you reach the new level of comfort. Because here, let me quickly, I'm gonna quickly draw a picture. This is something that again I use with clients who are really, really severe. And please forgive me for my techniques. This is really basic. But let's just say that this is you. So this is you, this is Alex, right? And this is Alex's world. So whatever I do within this space, whatever actions I take within this space, I'm kind of all right. It doesn't kind of set the panic out. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't make me scared. Now, at the minute you want me to do something which is here, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Right? Because it's outside of my what? It's outside of my current comfort zone, which I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem, I can do that. But here is the very thing. The only way that we can grow and be happy, because human beings grow from progress, is if you do this thing, and if you do it long enough, here's where magic happens. You grow. And after some time, your comfort zone will grow. And so the very thing that was outside of your comfort zone will now become the part of your comfort zone, the part of who you are. And the process is to do it again and again and again and again and again. And it never ends until you die, because that's who we are as human beings, right? And as I said, you don't want to go from here to there, because this is where panic sets. And if you go into panic, you are paralyzed, you can't do anything. And so it's really useful to walk with someone or use your own judgment to kind of, as I said, I'm really sorry about this technique, but you get the point, right? So this is exactly how you grow. Now, one really, really useful tip that I have for you is to create something which I call the courage box. It can be a physical box, as in like a shoe box. I use a file on my phone, for example, and I just know that this is my courage box. 1 second. And here is what you do in your courage box. You pick the thing, every day something small, that you just like push yourself outside of your comfort zone, and you do something that you're scared of. It could be a tiny thing. It could be, for example, picking up the phone and following up with a prospect that you had a discovery call 3 months ago, and then you kind of know that this person could really benefit from working with you, but you're scared to call them up, right? It could be that. Then you pull out your courage box after you've done it. You give yourself praise. This is so important, to give yourself positive reinforcement for that you've done it. And you literally just say to yourself, well done, Alex. You see, I told you could do this. We need, because we're talking to the subconscious. Subconscious is a little bit like a little child, And you give yourself lots of praise and you record it in your courage box. or on your phone like I do this, or you could have a journal, whatever that is. But it's important that it's all stored in one place. Don't just go and scatter it all over the place, because then it's not going to work. And here is what's going to happen. When you do that, you are building up a body of evidence over time, which means that after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, you have all of the evidence of like how you have stretched yourself. And here is where the magic really happens. The stuff that you were scared to do, after you've recorded them, you will then go and do other things. They no longer scare you. But when you have another challenge to go and set yourself a new thing that you want to do that you haven't yet done, and the old pattern comes up for you that says, no way, you're not doing this. There is no chance that you can overcome this one. You go back to your courage box and you gently just look through it and you see, I thought I couldn't do that. I thought I couldn't do this, yet I did all of those things. And this is where magic happens, because you then know you have that unwavering faith, because you can see literally how much you've achieved. It's very, 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 this is so simple. Not many people do that. It will change your life if you use it, trust me. Because every single time when you go back, you can see how many things you have achieved. So tell me in the comments, what do you think about the courage box? Is this speaking to you? Do you think it's a good idea? What sort of stuff you could be recording there? Would you like to have it in a shoebox? Would you like to have it on your phone? You know, how is that really speaking to you? And then we will move on to the last bit, because again, I don't really want those trainings to go over half hour really. And then I will be teaching you about one of my favorite things, which is called principles. And some of you know what principles are that I will be teaching. Right, I can't see any comments coming up, so I'm not quite sure whether this is not working or I just can't see them or you guys not commenting, but either way, it's fine. So here is the next thing that we will be doing, right? I was supposed to be teaching this tomorrow, but I thought to myself it would be really useful to add to today. And I want to teach you about something which I call principles. Principles are your principles that you choose to live your life by. Now, principles are not rules. Principles are things that are everlasting. They never change. They're constant, right? As in like principles in mathematics or principles in physics. Those things never really, yeah, phone is awesome because there is no excuses. You can just do it on the go. And so principles never change. Your rules, you can go and break the rules, right? But principles are your guiding, you know, who you are choosing to be. And so that means that in order for you to become that confident person who really goes after what she wants to go, you need to create that person because she's bigger version of who you are right now. And remember, as I told you before, all of the fears that you have is the unfulfilled potential that is speaking to you. This is why it's bugging you, right? Because you're supposed to be doing those things that you're scared of. And they're telling you, hey, I want to come up, I want to grow, let me grow, let me grow. And growth is painful. That's why it's all happening. So when you describe your principles and you create your mindset practice, you are literally creating the rules that you will be using to become the person to do the very things that you know that you want to do and that you know that you need to be doing in order to get the results that you want to do. And I will be sharing you some of my principles in a minute just to kind of show you an example of how to get that done. Now, in terms of process, this is how you do. You're gonna come up with probably between 10 to 20 sentences, and you're going to take the things that are opposite of what you are right now, which means when you feel like you have no control over your life, the opposite of that would be, I always feel in control. Does that make sense? And then you come up with those statements, whatever the qualities that are that you want to create. And again, I'll give you some examples in a second how to really get that done. And then you write them down. Now, once you've written them down, they need to feel a little bit uncomfortable. You want them to scare you just slightly, but scare you like in that exciting way, because you know that this is who you really want to be, and it feels really nice and juicy reading those things. Because it's a bigger version, bigger, bolder version of you. Once you've come up with those sentences, here is what I want you to do. I want you to record them on your phone in a positive, enthusiastic voice. Not as in like, I am positive and my life is great. This isn't gonna great. You know, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna get through to your subconscious. It's very important that you say it with emotion, like it's true for you already. You say it with conviction. And so you then go and you listen to it every single day, you know, as you go, you know, cleaning your house. In the beginning, for the first 30 days, I would say listen to them at least 5 times a day. Another thing is that I would want you to do, once you've got them written down, in the morning, while you're doing your morning routine, read them out one by one. Because you're trying to attack it from every single angle, from reading to listening to saying it aloud, whatever the angle that you can speak from, it's very important that you hit them. Does that make sense? Is the process clear to you? Do you have any questions about to write them down? Let me know. Now, as you're thinking, if you have any questions, let me just read you some of my some of my principles. I came up with those principles when, you know, I dig them out for you, and these are the ones from when I was trying to build the confidence to create the business that I knew that I wanted to have, but I was scared of putting myself out there, right? And so right now I have kind of bigger and bolder principles, but those, I think some of them could really speak to you. So here are mine. Number 1, I deliberately, consciously and intentionally create my life. Again, because I felt like I was powerless and I wanted to be in power, right? Number 2, when I want something, I go and take it. I never explain myself. This one I came up with because I was such a people pleaser and approval seeker that I would always go and be like, do I have permission from other people to do that? Is it okay to do? And I could never make my own decisions. So this is why I came up with this one. Number 3, I always know that I will get what I want. I will learn the skill that I want to get, no matter how painful or slow it may seem. So again, if you are scared of public speaking, and if you look at it from a skill point of view, if you can convince yourself and you say, hey, it's just a skill, I'm going to keep at it until I get there. Can you see how empowering that is? Next one. Oh, I love this one. I own my circumstances, which means that, you know what? My shit belongs to me and I'm going to turn it around. This is so strong. If you can really make a commitment to yourself to take 100% of responsibility for whatever it is that you have created so far, do you know what? Maybe 1% of people in the world is able to do that or make that kind of decision. And when they do, things are starting to shift. Next one. I have no time for drama. It's a waste of my precious time. So again, this is how I choose to show up in my life. Next one. Simplicity, consistency, and quality over time is the key to success. Right? Next one. I find it very easy to let go of whatever does not serve me. Now, this one, can you see how this is the opposite of like, I'm stuck. I keep doing things that I don't want to be doing. I promised myself that I would go and do something and I didn't keep the promise for myself. Can you see how I'm switching this to the opposite, right? So as opposed to saying in my head, oh, I always let myself go, you know, I never keep my own promises. I say to myself that, you know, I always do what it is that I'm gonna do because this is how I choose to live my life. And this is what you need to be planting into your subconscious mind in order for you to change long term. Next one, this is for you that if you suffer from codependency or people pleasing, this one you will really like. I never ever compare myself with others. I am my own competitor and my only benchmark is to better than I was yesterday. Can you see how empowering that is? So this is something that I really want you to take some time. Go and write your own principles that, you know, that you will go and live by. And we've got probably about 2 minutes before we finish off. And here is what you do with those principles at the end of each day. It will literally take you less than a minute to do so mentally in your head. I want you to take your list, whatever your principles are that you have come up with. And again, if you don't know how to write those principles, if you've got any more questions, let me know. You go and you literally check yourself mentally today, which of those principles have I violated, right? So for example, if I quickly go through my day in my head, and I would say, oh my God, I was complaining that, it was out of my control to not have money to invest into marketing, therefore my business will never work out. Let's just say that's an example, right? From the past that I would be complaining. That means that I have violated my first and most important principle, which means that I deliberately, consciously, and intentionally create my world, and I own my circumstances. Can you see where I'm going with this? Right? And you literally do that every single night, and you will start seeing how what you say that you're going to do is different to the actions that you're taking. And so if you do this over time, oh my goodness, everything will start shifting for you. This is something that I do with all of my private clients. They love the process. They find it really helpful, and it's no different for you. It's going to work for you as well. So here is the quick recap of what we were doing today. Today we talked about how to transform your fear, right? And the best way to transform your fear is to move yourself from the ego, as in like me. It's about me being judged. It's about me being scared. It's about me being uncomfortable, to moving outside of yourself and being a bigger version of yourself. How can I serve others? Why is it important that I overcome that fear and grow into being that person, right? Is it because my story is inspiring? Is it because my products are so gorgeous that people are meant to know about them? What is it, right? But again, after you've kind of do that for some time, you will start seeing big changes. Then we talked about the uncomfortable truth that no one really knows to know about, is that this work never ends, because we are not supposed to be satisfied as human beings. There is always another level. One thing I want to argue before we go, and actually we will be doing the winner in a second of a third free session, is this. The people that you look up to, take them off the pedestal. This is something that my mentor taught me, and that was a huge, kind of breakthrough moment for me, because I would always look at people who were earning more or kind of be more advanced in business than I was, and I would be like, who am I to approach them, right? Who am I to talk to them? And they're just people. They're not more talented or better than you. They've just been in the game for longer than you, right? And actually, if you start searching for their stories, do you know Brendon Bouchard, right? He's one of my, I really look up to him as well. I've learned loads from him. Do you know that he used to throw up before he did public speaking? I mean, the guy threw up. Now he can speak and dance in front of thousands of people. They're not different than you are. They're not different than I am. We're all the same. So as we're doing this, now, ladies, thank you so much for attending live. If you have any questions, this is your time to type the questions. Let me know what did you like about today. Let me know what kind of principles you want to be coming up with for yourself. So if you can type in like one principle while I am doing the randomizer, I would highly appreciate it, because I need to choose the winner of the free session. Hold on, I just need to open the website. Hold on, let the thing do its thing, and it's thinking. Number 7. Who's number 7? Number 7 is... I know this lady, Sue Todd. Sue, I'm not quite sure if you are live with with us today. You definitely were live on previous days. So Sue Todd, you will be contacted. Congratulations. You are the winner of the third free session. Yes, there you go. What's that? Could you type the name of the guy you just mentioned? Oh, hi, Sue. You are here. Yes, you are having yourself a session with me, and it's 60 minutes. You can discuss with me anything that you want. It is all, everything is on the table. There is, whatever topic that you want to do, whether that's confidence or business or something else. Veronica, his name is Brandon Bouchard. I will type it in the comments after I've switched after I finish the live, because I can't really type on my phone, or I'm scared to type because I might disconnect myself. I'm not that techy. But I will type it in a minute. So ladies, here it is, finished for today. And again, I know for those of you who are watching the replays, I get it. Try to attend live because it's so much better. You can ask questions. But still, if you are watching the replay right now in the comfort of your house, from the US or from a different part of the world, if you have any questions, ask the questions, because I will be coming back to this video tomorrow to answer your questions. With that being said, I will see you tomorrow, ladies. Thank you. Bye.